Hello and welcome to all you Sagittarians. This is your monthly horoscope for March of 2020, and we have a big shift happening with Saturn, the planet of structure, the planet that tests us mostly, is transiting a new sign, the sign of Aquarius, and it is as from the 23rd of March up until the 3rd of July that Saturn will go through the first signs, the first degrees of Aquarius, and then it goes backwards in your second house again of Capricorn. So to go back into Aquarius during the end of the year. So we will all have a sort of a sneak preview of that energy around the end of the month, that we will feel what this will be. So it's very good to observe what's going to happen around that timing with, for you, third house stuff, and I'll explain in a minute what that is. But first of all, Saturn is going into an air sign. Now this is easier for the Sagittarians. Why? Because air signs are going well with fire signs, so it's what we call a sextile. So the energy goes smoothlier for you, and especially if you are an early Sagittarian. So if you've got like a sun or a moon or an ascendant between the 0 and 5 degrees of Sagittarius, you will feel even that Saturn energy in a positive way, which is you being mature, not that you're not, but feeling more grounded, feeling more to the discipline in life, and the things that you need to do to achieve something will go easier for you with a lot more patience. So it's quite good energy for those early Sagittarians. And this is all, so that's first of all. And it's all happening in Aquarius in your third house. What does it mean? Now Saturn wants to put boundaries, it wants to put structure in Aquarius, which is the sign of innovation, the sign of newness, the sign of the not mainstream. So on a basic level for everyone, Saturn, there wants to be, the universe, so to speak, wants us to put structure in the innovative, structure in what is not so mainstream and alternative. For you, that, if you plot that into the general Sagittarian, it's the mind. It's Saturn having in the third house means the third house is the house of communication. It's the house of writing. It's the house of speaking. It's the house of your siblings. It's the house of your neighborhood. So all of that energy there, probably more in a positive way than in a negative way, because of the sextile, the good energy between Sagittarius and between Aquarius, but still testing times when it comes to communication. And what it wants to do, Saturn, is not to make you a rigid speaker, because that's the negative side of it. And with rigid, I mean that it's your way or the highway when it comes to your opinions and what you speak. And then, of course, people are really, people are avoiding other people like that. But what you want is having structure in your speech. So if anything that you do when it comes to your work, for instance, with structuring, written or spoken communication, this is really good energy to learn. If you want it to learn in the step-by-step kind of way. Okay, if you want to learn something very quickly, like lots of people want to learn astrology in a 1, 2, 3, and of course that's not what it's all about. It's something that needs time, it's something that needs to connect all the different dots. Then you will really benefit from this transit. So I've seen a lot with Saturn in the third house, sometimes school becomes hard. So when you're a younger person, because of the Saturn, of course, if you're not applying Saturn well, and that would mean that you don't want to go for the responsibility, then of course it's going to be hard. But if you want to embrace Saturn, if you are able to work hard, you're really going to benefit a lot of what you're learning at the moment. So Saturn through the third house is makes good writers, focused writers, that what they write has really structure. And so if you are in the world of PR, in the world of communication, it can make your communication way more mature, way more precise, concise, and all of that. So it's of course always better to embrace this energy instead of working against it, and then it won't be that tough. On another level, Saturn in the 3rd house can mean that one of your siblings is going a bit to a Saturnal time, a bit of a tougher time there. Or in your neighborhood, you know, there could be a contact with a neighbor that is going a bit more tough, that you have to watch out that, you know, it's not the ego thing that comes up. But in the upcoming months, I will talk a bit more about Saturn there, because it's going to be there for such a long time. Now, meanwhile, there is where all the energy is going on is still your 2nd house. That's been talking a long time for that, because also Mars, the planet of action, is in your 2nd house of Capricorn. And there's something really, really good, a good opportunity for the Sagittarians when it comes to materializing something, when it comes to money, when it comes to work. And why is that? Because Venus will be in Taurus for most of the month, as from the 6th of March, in your 6th house, and that is going to trine Jupiter and Pluto in your 2nd house towards the end of the month. It's more towards the end of the month, and that is a windfall. Some sort of windfall that has to do with 6th house and 2nd house. These are the work houses, the money houses. And where the Venus in for you in the 6th house of work, it could be through work that you are enjoying, you are getting more money, or there is a connection with someone at work, and that is giving you more value. And Jupiter and Pluto connecting to each other at the very end of the month and the beginning of next month is transformation. So if I've been talking a lot about the transformation when it comes to material stuff, when it comes to money with Sagittarians, and especially with Saturn there as well, with the South Node there. It's been hard for a lot of Sagittarians to gain more money, but now Jupiter is abundance, and when you have the combination of Jupiter and Pluto together in the 2nd house, it could also mean a lot of money. So I hope you are one of them. Of course, these are general horoscopes, but it's pretty good energy when it comes to money and when it comes to work as well. So it could also mean, if you've been looking hard for a long time for a new job, that now you've got that new job and you're really, really enjoying it because of Venus in the 6th house, and it's giving you plenty of not only money, better circumstances there, but also more self-worth. So very nice energy indeed, very earthly energy. The Venus and Mars, they are in very earthly areas for you, but also in the earth houses. So that's really, really interesting. And last but not least, Mercury goes direct again as from the 11th. So when it comes to contracts, when it comes to negotiations, after the 11th, you will see that that goes smoothly here. Because you had Mercury retrograde in your 3rd house, it might have been a bit of a struggle there when it comes to computers or devices or whatever, communication, backups that you needed to make, whatever that was. If it was hard in February, now after the 11th of March, things go smoothly. Also with Mercury, when it shifts to Pisces around the 17th of the month in your 4th house, is having better communication with yourself on a deep emotional level, or with your ancestors. Well, ancestors, I mean relatives, family, and you're thinking a lot about where you're coming from, but in a good way, you know, in a sort of a healing way, with because it's in Pisces. I could go on and on, but I'm gonna stop here. This is what I have for you now and for this month. Did I talk about relationships? I didn't, didn't I? Because sometimes people say, you didn't talk about relationship. Well, the relationship houses are not really activated at the moment. So it's same old when it comes to relationships in general. So it's not bad. On the contrary, your communication becomes better throughout the midst, you know, throughout the whole month. So that in itself is, of course, very important for all your relationships, love or work related. Having said that, thank you so much for watching. Dear Sagittarians, have a very good month, and thank you for your time. If you want to get in touch, just look at the link below. Bye-bye.